Welcome to Library-ish. I'm January.
And I'm Tracy. And today we are celebrating.
Woo! Yes, we are. It is National Libraries Week, which is essentially our Super Bowl.
Except instead of a halftime show, we have story time.
Which is objectively better.
Objectively. No notes.
So in honor of National Libraries Week, we are dedicating this entire episode to something we hold very dear. Library joy. Capital L, capital J.
That's right. We're talking about that feeling. You know the one.
When you walk into a library and something in your brain just goes, ah, yes, this is the place.
We're going to explore what library joy actually is, where it comes from. We're going to talk a lot about a show that gave a lot of us our very first taste of it.
Ooh, tease them a little more.
All I'll say is, butterfly in the sky.
Okay, yes, we're going there, but you'll have to keep listening.
Let's find your library joy, people. Let's go.
Woo-hoo!
So National Libraries
Week.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop,
There's so much going on.
Indeed.
I love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
The theme for National Libraries Week this year is Find Your Joy. Just so you know, National Libraries Week, it takes place every year. It includes several days that honor librarians, people who work in libraries, banned books that feature those. And it goes from April 19th to April 25th this year, 2026. Find Your Joy is the theme, and the ALA says, libraries spark joy through education, technology, and community connection. And this is what we're celebrating during that
Yay!
week.
And you know, libraries are pretty cool. They're just cool. You know,
Objectively.
Right? No notes. They're great because you know, when you're out and about, you know, you're out and you're going places and you're doing things. It's such a rush nowadays. Everything moves so fast. Move, spend, money. I love how, you know, after going through all that, you come into the library and everything just kind of stops.
Yes.
You know, it's like a pocket in time. It's that everything just kind of stops. And we're over at the counter, and when you come in, we'll be like, hi, it's great to see you, because we're actually happy that you're here. You know, not because you spend money, not because of any of that, just we're happy you're here. We're happy you're here spending time with us. And then we leave you alone.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, you come in, we say, hey, how's it going? And then we don't bother you. We let you go about your day unless you come to us and say, hey, I need help with this. And then we're on it 100%. I will take you around the library and help you find books like I'm getting commission on it, even though I'm not. But it's lovely to not have that pressure. And I know I can go into a library and I can sit down and no one will bother me until it's time for the library to close, because we got to go home too.
Yes.
But I'm allowed to sit there and not spend any money. I'm allowed to sit there and take up space. I'm allowed to take up space without paying for it. And I love it.
Well, and that's really brings up the question about what is library joy? What does it mean to experience library joy? And what does that even mean? I think discovery without pressure, as you're mentioning, being able to come in, have a space that's available for free. You don't have to pay to get a library card, at least certainly in our county. Check your local area to see. But the majority of libraries, a library card is free. It's not a paid membership. And even if you don't have a library card, you're allowed to come in and sit and find a cozy corner and pick a book up off a shelf and read. There are often other things you could do, like play chess, or there may be Legos or coloring.
We have
puzzles.
Yeah,
there may be all kinds of things that you could just do to spend some time, and no one's asking you for money. No one's asking you to justify your presence there. No one's asking you to purchase something to be able to be in the space. And that's huge. And that's part of that bringing community as well, to helping you find your personal joy,
right?
But also finding community. That programming is part of that too. Being able to come in and experience different things like art or crafts or hear a lecture, something inspiring.
Right? Yeah. It's nowadays with the cell phones and the social media. I sound so old saying that. Nowadays with them, their gadgets.
Nowadays, back when I was a whippersnapper.
Well, fun fact, I was a kid in the 90s and we didn't have these. I mean, the cell phones, if you can call them that, the giant walkie-talkies that they called cell phones,
The bricks that never died.
The giant bricks.
Oh, Nokia, we miss you.
No, you could do anything to that. That will survive the nuclear explosion.
I just heard somebody, I think it was on Threads or something, and they were talking about, remember when you would drop your phone and the worst that would happen would be the back would come off and the battery would slide out, and you'd have to pop the battery back in and put the cover on, and you were on your way. You were able to continue about your business. That was the worst.
It was a minor inconvenience, and it still worked, and you could play Snake to your heart's content.
Yeah, now you drop it, and it's a house payment.
Yeah, it's awful. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't even. But I didn't grow up with all of this stuff. And now that I look at my kids growing up in this age where they have screens and they have social media and they have all these things that it's so fast and anxiety inducing, and everything costs money. I'm waiting for Mr. O'Hare to come here and start charging us for air.
Absolutely.
I mean, it makes it so much more intense to live through life. So when I say the library is a pocket of time, I really do mean it that way, where you just kind of come in and it just stops and you can relax, because we need that as humans. We need the community. We need that moment to kind of go back in time, to kind of rewind it back to where everything was an instant gratification, and just learn a new skill with some people, be a part of the community.
Absolutely. And it's also about locus of control. When you're scrolling on social media, certainly you have a certain amount of discretion about where you're going and what your feed looks like. But largely, there is a corporate entity that is also going, but what about this? But what about this? How about this? What about this thing? You think this is interesting? Take this little survey, click yes or no. Do you like it? Do you like it? When you come into a library, you have the control. You can pick whatever shelf you want to. You can look at whatever books and see what interests you or doesn't. I find that with children, that tends to be the most difficult part for them of coming into a library, is that they're not developing, and I talk about this randomly occasionally, they're not developing personal discernment about the art they're consuming, and they're essentially becoming a passive consumer of creativity, a passive consumer of art, rather than going to a shelf and going, let me read the back of this author's book. What do the notes say in the side of the book? This seems interesting. Do I like dragons? Actually, I do like dragons.
Everybody likes dragons.
I know you're biased. You have the dragon bias. But it's like being able to wander on your own and not be directed, that self-directed pursuit to develop critical thinking and critical taste, and to be able to discern what you like. The library is one of the last places you could do that. There is no algorithm driving your attention in a library. The locus of control of what you consume is completely in your hands. That I love.
Yes.
That's one of my big things, especially, along with the dissemination of information and accessibility, it's that locus of control.
Yes. When you're a kid and you're in the library, it's all magic. It's all magic. And I don't know when that is where we grow out of that and we have to rediscover it as an adult. And you do rediscover it. You have that. Every adult has that moment. If you're a reader, or even if you're not a reader, it's only because you haven't discovered it yet. You're there. Everybody has this inside of them. But you have that moment where you rediscover the magic that comes with reading. I was talking to a wonderful patron over in Durham yesterday. She was asking about, she had just finished Fourth Wing, and she had finished a couple of other fantasy books and all that thing. She's like, I need a book series with a lot of books so that I can escape into it and live there.
That she likes to be in a world for a very long time.
Yes.
And that's the truth about libraries, are the cheapest and best travel agencies. in the world, because you can go anywhere in a book.
Best
which
poor man's
we'll
vacation.
get to that later.
Yeah.
But truly, like, you can travel anywhere. You can experience almost anything vicariously through someone else's experience that is in a book, through the imagination that reading inspires. It's just fantastic.
It's
and that idea
joy.
where she was saying, where she was saying, I like to live in a world for a very long time. And oh, how fantastic. I agree with that. You're going to invest your time and everything, strong characters, and a lot of opportunity to explore that landscape.
Yes. Oh,
I love it indeed.
Lovely.
Well, so National Library Week, we've talked about the theme. It's Find Your Joy. Well, who is the ambassador? The greatest ambassador for Find Your Joy is the 21st century librarian of librarians, Mychal Threets. You know, there's
he's great. He's absolutely adorable. I love watching his TikToks. He's fantastic.
He's the best. And that's where he started. You know, the library is a place for personal exploration. And the theme of Threets' new picture book, I'm So Happy You're Here, a celebration of library joy, features this. And this is why they've asked him to be the ambassador of this particular year's theme, Find Your Joy. I mean, tell us a little bit about January. Sort of looked into Mr. Mychal a little bit.
Now I kind of sound like a stalker.
We're working. We're working.
You've been obsessing over him. Tell us what you've learned.
I mean, we all know him. TikTok sensation. Fantastic hair.
He's so adorable. I love watching him.
His fit is always on point. I believe that's how the kids say it.
You know, I was watching him on, I think it was The Daily Show. He was on it. And he had this adorable dinosaur-themed headband that matched an adorable dinosaur-themed tie. And, you know, with the polo and everything. And I'm just like, that is a children's librarian. Yes. That right there. That's a librarian.
Quintessential children's librarian.
So cute. And he's always he brings his library joy with him wherever he goes. And you can see it. It's like this aura, you know, shining off of him. And I think that's what makes him the most adorable of adorables, you know. But I was reading about him, and he actually grew up in the Solano County Library where he worked, where he got his first position. He got his first, that's kind of what raised him. And he started as a homeschool kid. He started, and you know, homeschoolers, I've got a special love for homeschoolers because I run the homeschool clubs in, well, I used to run Chico and Paradise. Now I just run Paradise because, you know, staffing.
That's right. And check out the Chico crew. They're amazing.
And there's another one in Orville if you're looking to get involved if you're a homeschool mom.
Orville is where it all started.
Yeah. Orville was the very first one. And then we just kind of expanded to other branches as we were able to do so. But he started as a homeschool kid. He got his very first library card when he was 5 years old, which you can do that. If you think your kids can handle the responsibility and the joy of utilizing their own library card, you make that decision and you come in and sign them up. We're not going to ask for ID for the children. We'll ask for yours though.
Yeah.
But he out when he was 5 years old, and he loved it. He loved being in the library because it made him feel like that everything that was weird about him wasn't weird but special. And it was
relatable,
good.
Mychal.
Right?
Relatable.
I think all of us that work in a library and love libraries and have that library joy, we all have a little weirdness, you know, but it's endearing.
In the best way.
Yes, it's an endearing kind of weird. It's that cute weird, not that weird, but like that, oh, look, she's adorable kind of weird, you know? But yeah, he's absolutely lovely. And he got his first position at Solano, and he moved up in the Solano. He's gotten a bunch of awards for all the great things he's done at TikTok. He's actually talked about making the TikTok, and he's like, it was either I start a TikTok channel or I invest in Animal Crossing, and I didn't have a personal gaming device, so I guess TikTok it was.
That's adorable.
You know, I love the fact that he's like, or it had to be Animal Crossing because my oldest daughter loves Animal Crossing.
It's cute.
Just an adorable little game.
It's cute.
But he's actually a little nervous when it comes to, you know, being in front of people and being the center of attention.
Sure.
And he's talked about that. And a lot of people can't, you know, put the two together. I understand that though. I 100% understand.
Mhm.
I can do one type of, presenting.
This kind of communication is
right. And then speaking in front of a group of people is something completely different. I 100% empathize with that. It might be another reason why I have some love for him.
Well, it's so neat because he started out and really he did story times on TikTok. That was really what he did, telling personal stories about library kids and library adults and finding their library joy and how he was able to help them as a staff member. And his personal TikTok took off. And that was how then he became a supervisor at Solano. And then they made him lead of the social media team. And that was a little different. I think that was a paradigm shift for him because it went from just him and his recording device, whatever he was using, and telling just stories about what he was experiencing on the daily to creating social media. Doing the marketing is very different than being a storyteller and just talking about your day-to-day life. And I think for Mychal, that got a little overwhelming for a little bit because that's a very difficult paradigm shift to make. And I think for him, it just at some point, he decided he needed to step back from all that. But what made those videos that he made resonate so deeply was his sense of radical welcome. He, I believe, made people seek libraries again because it's like, if this is what it's like, library anxiety is a real thing that people experience because libraries are seen as academic adjacent. They're not, particularly now. They used to be. They're not anymore. Now they're community hubs.
Yeah.
They're loud and they're boisterous and they're people connecting and talking to each other. And he would talk about that experience. And I think he made people feel like, oh, maybe I can fit in the library. Maybe it's not a place where I have to go and be quiet and just
Yeah,
and I can't talk. I mean, you can come in, you can come to the counter, you could tell us your stories and ask for recommendations. And,
and we are the last people that are going to shush you. Yeah, Tracy and I get shushed in the library by patrons.
I mean, you're the queen of it.
I am the queen.
I'm kind of the princess.
No, I feel I'm the king of it. I am the most in charge, regardless of gender.
Yes.
Because I got shushed at a rock concert. That's how loud I am.
And this was recent as well.
It was recent. Oh my. And then I sat there and went, am I in the library? No, they don't have mosh pits in the library we still don't have those, right? No, we don't have those. No, I get shushed in the library more than anyone else. I am the last person that's going to shush you. Please don't feel uncomfortable coming in and talking to me.
But, with Mychal, not only because of his videos, has he been a champion of helping people see how welcoming libraries are in the modern age. He's also become very much a champion of mental wellness and mental health. His stepping back while he was working in Solano as a supervisor and being brave enough, even though his star, you might say, was rising in the social media world and in his career of choice at Solano, he decided that it was overwhelming for him and he took a step back and he took a professional break. And often he has been very candid through social media about his struggles with mental health, with depression. And this is, to me, one of his greatest strengths as a modern cultural figure, because I think we have a lot of heroes in society. We build people up, we put them on pedestals, and invariably their humanity is going to come forward.
People are just people.
Because
no
people are people. And the one thing about Mychal Threets, to me, is that he shows that, heroes can be human, but they can be human in the best possible way. Not always when a hero shows their humanity do they do it in a light that is positive and makes you want to embrace them. Sometimes they show their humanity and you see the worst of humanity. And Mychal Threets is not like that. I feel the vulnerability and the softness that he shows for sure is admirable and exhibits the best of us. I think it's just, he's just like awesome. He's just awesome. I love that about him.
He is. He's adorable.
Yeah. It's very sweet. And he's got another new role. Not only is he the ambassador of National Library Week, not only does he have a new book, but he is the host of probably your favorite show, or your kids' favorite show, or your grandkids' favorite show from the 1980s, Reading Rainbow. He's the new host.
Take a look. It's in a book. It's Reading Rainbow.
Love it. Best, I mean, best theme song almost of any, like right up there with the Jeffersons.
Right.
And there are a few theme songs that are just like,
I loved Reading Rainbow.
And what a great show. I mean, we were watching an episode this morning and it was from 1983.
The second episode it was. It wasn't the first. It was the second one.
So it was the second one. I was already a teenager by that time. So I wasn't a Reading Rainbow kid and I didn't have nieces, nephews, kids of my own. So I really haven't really watched Reading Rainbow, but this one.
Yeah, it was released
like,
it was released in 1983 and that was the year I was born. You will immediately forget that fact. But no, I love
Reading Rainbow. Forget that fact.
I loved Reading Rainbow and it was just so much fun. And I loved how it made reading fun, because when you go to school, reading's not fun. Reading is something that you have to do. The teachers tell you they want to record you reading. They want to time you reading. They want to correct the words that you're reading. And it's no fun, but Reading Rainbow made it magic. They took it and it was like watching this cute little cartoon while they read the book out loud to you. And then you talked about the themes that were in the book.
Mychal Threets is such what a great person to step in those shoes. LeVar Burton is so amazing.
Yes, but it's different. It's not it's not like, oh, he's just another guy, just didn't it's not the same thing times two. It's just a little different because Mychal Threets is so unique in his own way that it puts this brand new shine on it.
It's like a modern interpretation.
It is.
I mean, LeVar Burton is so fantastic in that role. And he was so able to, what I always liked about what I saw of the show, I never felt like he talked down to kids, which I think was always a big problem. There was a certain amount of condescension with the kids. LeVar Burton never condescended.
No, he didn't.
He was always right there talking about the stuff. And
it was always magic.
Doing the little skits and doing the little things that were involved, always with complete sincerity, taking it very seriously as a serious actor. So fantastic.
I mean, the episode we were watching was Ms. Nelson is Back, which is a great picture book. And it's about a teacher whose class disrespects her. So she leaves. But then this horrible substitute comes back and she's a witch. And she's, got all this big old long witchy nose and she has witchy clothes. And she's mean to the kids. And the kids are like, oh, we miss Miss Nelson. And it turns out that the witch was Miss Nelson. Spoiler, was Miss Nelson the whole time. And so after the book is done reading, he took the episode into this costume shop and they're talking about disguises and when you wear disguises and things that you do. And it just kind of expanded it a little bit. The show that Mychal Threets did, they read, No Cats in the Library. And then they did this whole segment about visiting an animal shelter and reading to animals and how that can be a little less stressful than reading to grownups, and there's a lot of libraries we don't as of yet. I'd love to get it started at some point in time if I ever could. There are some libraries that offer programs that have animals and service dogs that kids sit around and read to, because a lot of times when you're struggling to learn to read, just having that anxiety taken away of someone that's going to correct your reading ability does so very much. And the rest of the episode was like that. And you can see that LeVar Burton is a professional actor. You can see that in his, I think it ran for 20 something years, this show. And you can see that in every episode that he is a professional actor. And then you go to Mychal Threets and he is not a professional actor. And you can kind of see that he's almost a little nervous when he does it.
Of course.
You know, because
it's new for him.
Right. Because he's not an actor. He's authentic.
And he's just a guy.
He is. He's just a library guy.
He's just a library guy.
He's a library guy that has library joy and he wants to express that. And you can see that authenticness underneath. And it's so adorable. And it has the similar formula where they start with a book and he welcomes everybody. He starts with a book. They have the little book thing where it's like a cartoon that you're watching, but they're reading a book. And then he pulls out the themes. And this one's new, though. They had like a comprehension section at the end where they kind of quizzed, what did the character do for this and stuff like that. But then they expand the themes that you read about and they kind of connect it to real world. And it's just what it always was, Tracy.
Well, and I love that comprehension piece because I think very often with all the studying for the test that schools have become focused on, that pulling it out and having the kids thinking critically about the thing they just read, but in a fun, stimulating, yet gentle way. That I think that's just such a great piece. That's such an addition.
It was great.
And I'm glad they maintain that into the new version of the show.
And I knew all the answers.
Hey!
Nobody look at you! I know, right? Right now, you can only see them on a segment of kids' YouTube. It's like one particular, they're only web episodes right now. But
they'll find a distributor.
That's what Sony just invested in 24 episodes. They just said, hey, we will pay to produce 24 episodes of Reading Rainbow with Mychal Threets, but they just don't have a broadcasting home as of yet.
Right.
So they're still looking for that. But when it comes back, there's going to be 24 episodes.
So they're still looking for syndication.
This new generation of kids is going to absolutely fall in love with.
Oh, this is so fantastic. Yeah, that's exactly what kids need, is to break out of that regimented, overly structured situation that they have right now. That, I mean, there's very little reason for a kid to read for personal joy unless they find it on their own. But kids are so scheduled these days. When does a kid have time to sit and
there's no
read?
Time.
So
I think we inadvertently were just talking about this yesterday, Tracy, where it feels like the days are getting shorter.
Yep.
It feels like time is moving faster.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, and like I said, no cell phones, the Nintendo was just invented, when I was in 3rd grade, 2nd grade, 1st grade. I don't know. When I was young.
Small.
When I was a very small person. And so we didn't have this. We had long summers. We had times when you're just kind of, when am I going to grow up? When is it going to happen? Time moves so slowly. Now you blink and it feels like 3 days have gone by.
And you were talking about the value of boredom.
Yes. It's important to be bored. It's important to have that time when you don't actively have to do something for your brain to stop and process things, for your brain to stop and heal itself and think and, stretch its little brainy legs, if brains had legs. Anyway, moving on.
And I think the thing about boredom is, unless you're bored, it's hard to figure out how to amuse yourself. It's one thing to be scheduled. You have obligations.
Yes.
Going back to the obligation thing. Obligation. Got to meet the obligation. Got to meet the deadline. When do you have the opportunity to check in with yourself? If you're bored, you're going to sit there and go, well, shoot. Maybe I'll walk down to the creek. Maybe I'll go out on the front porch and look at the birds. If you're bored, you have to find a way to fill the time and you have to be creative about it. If you're scheduled, and again, which scheduling is kind of like an algorithm in and of itself, if you're just fed your activities day to day, when are you ever going to have any discernment about what you actually enjoy doing?
Yeah. It's okay to be bored. In fact, it should be encouraged.
Yes. But if you do get bored, come to the library.
Be bored with us.
Because we have things that you can explore.
Mhm.
We have things that you can do. We have the books, we have the games, we have programs. We have all sorts of stuff to help you find your joy.
Yeah, come with us and discover your own library joy, regardless of what it is.
Yep.
For no monies.
For absolutely $0. For
For the
$0.
low price of free.
Yes, exactly.
That was a good one.
Every time we talk about this stuff, I remember why we do what we do.
Libraries, man.
Libraries. Okay, here's what we need from you, dear listener. It is National Library Week. Come see us.
Come in, look around, check something out, literally and figuratively.
Find your library joy, whatever flavor it comes in.
And then tell us about it. Leave a comment below. We want to know, what is your library joy?
And while you're down there leaving a comment, go ahead and subscribe. Do all the things.
Happy National Libraries Week, everyone. Thanks for finding your joy with us today. We'll see you next time. Bye.